Everybody got a vibe. Bitch, what you thought? This a once a month funky cock bleeding bitch, you get you nothing. Yeah, you know I kept talking shit. Motherfuck you, damn shithead bitch. Fuck you, you stupid hoe. Tell me just what you know.
Hey, what was it? The last time I called, hey Julia.
Hey, good morning, Julia.
Good morning, Julia. It's me, Joe.
Yeah.
I put all these soffits and these fans in here, Julia.
I'd be honest, I haven't watched an episode of this one yet. The Bob and you one.
It's really boring.
It is. It's basically us talking about life and about how much Doug jerks off. And
I don't think we talk about that at all, do we? I don't think we've talked about that.
You just black it out.
I might have. I mean, I don't really remember what I say.
Until you go to edit it?
Yeah, most of the time. Like, I'm cutting the upgrade episode right now, and I forgot a lot of the stuff we were talking about.
like you being into amputee porn.
Yeah, but I said that for the joke, man.
But was it really for the joke?
All right, man. Pornhub. We're sponsored by Pornhub tonight. That's cool.
Do you see that? Read the shirt?
I read the shirt. I know. I was making a joke, dum-dum.
Oh, is this the same as the Pornhub logo? I had no idea.
I'm very familiar with it, but I'm not really much of a Pornhub guy. That's more like mainstream porn. I'm like
You're like you porn.
No, I like heavy R. Like I like amputee shit, man.
What is wrong with you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, hold on. We have to finish this conversation. Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on, I'm still eating, but this is amazing. Hold on.
Are you asking me if I like amputee porn or if I've watched amputee porn? Two questions.
Both.
Yes,
Both.
I've watched it. No, it's not my cup of tea.
You're a Diet Coke man, huh?
Till death.
He's never stopped being a Diet Coke man.
You haven't switched to Coke Zero? It's so much better.
Coke Zero tastes like regular Coke, and I don't like. The reason I drink Diet Coke is because I actually like. It's the only soda I drink. It's the only thing I like the taste of. I don't like regular. I think regular like Coke and Coke Zero and that is just too sweet.
I drink all of them. I love regular Coke. That's my favorite soda of all time. But I drink Diet Coke on the regular because you can find it everywhere, and got to watch the calories. But Coke Zero is fucking good, man. Drink Coke Zero right out of a can, ice cold. You cannot tell the difference between that and the regular. But they're changing the recipe. They're coming out with a new recipe for Coke Zero.
Are they bringing cocaine back?
No. That would be nice.
It would cost a lot more money.
Oh my god, no shit.
And it would be cut with fentanyl.
Yeah, just everyone down here is dying from that currently.
Is that what the big thing is now in Florida? Fentanyl?
Well, all like heroin, cocaine, crack, all that shit is being cut with fentanyl, and that's what's killing people.
They're even pressing people are buying pill presses and pressing Xanaxes that are cut with fentanyl.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So pretty much everything is cut with it. So
I remember.
That's why I don't mess with. That's why I don't mess with cosmetic manufactured drugs. If it grows out of the ground naturally, if it's a mushroom or a plant, then I don't see why there would be anything fucking wrong with that. It's a natural thing. But when you're pressing chemicals together to get high, like there's.
Does that count glue? Because that comes from horse hooves, and you can get high off glue.
It used to, not anymore.
Maybe I have old glue lying around.
Yeah, there's
Great, now I got to cut that because PETA will come after us. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, all 7 people who watch this are going to be really offended.
PETA,
I think
you can't see us.
I think even vegans and vegetarians hate fucking PETA. Kidding me?
Most of them do.
Yeah, that's a really annoying organization, man. I find Scientology a slightly more interesting, but both batshit crazy.
I mean, all religions are interesting. You know what I mean? But they're all fucking batshit crazy at the same time.
That's true. Welcome to Bob and Doug Save You from Boredom.
This is Skyler.
This is our guest, Skyler Joseph Denison.
Yes, the full name. You know how I like it.
I'll never not refer to you or talk about you or introduce you as nothing else, but because that's just how I've always. It's all the way I've always known it. Skyler Joseph Denison.
I prefer it.
Or butt sleeves. One of the two.
Yeah, I was gonna say or butt sleep because that's what I think of.
It's neither now. Now it's just dad.
Yeah.
Even at work, I'm dad.
But still, it's a good hat on you, man. I like the you that I mean, I've always liked you, but I like the you that you are now, that you blossomed into.
Yeah, I think, and Bob can probably agree. When you become a parent, it shows your true colors. You're either a good person or you're a shitty, selfish person, and you see those colors very quick with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I feel like I'm on the good side of that.
I have times where I'm definitely on both sides of that, where I'm like,
well, you have to be, yeah.
Please God, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So you guys would both say being a parent is worth it, ultimately, to both of you?
Yeah, as long as your kid doesn't suck.
Yeah.
I feel like some people I feel like some people, no matter how good of a parent they are, they're cursed with a shitty kid. And I feel bad for those parents.
Like, child support can be very expensive. Yeah. Just putting that out there.
So glad I never got anybody pregnant. I'm so glad nobody ever really wanted to have sex with me.
I'm sure you did. You just don't know about it.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably living down in... well, I'm not even going to say the name of where that... I caught myself. You know, I forget about shit like that from time to time until you remind me. That's how far gone I am. I totally forget that I probably have a kid somewhere.
I forgot that I probably had a kid. Oh, well.
Dude, I forgot what I ate for lunch yesterday, dude. Like, my short-term memory, I don't have one anymore. I'm amazed I remember butt sleeves, for fuck's sake.
Do you wear that outfit to work?
I'm fucking gonna start tomorrow. I just got it today. I came home from work and it was in the mailbox. My work husband got me this, and now I'm gonna wash this shit every day and wear it every day, man. I might get 4 more. Fuck that. I'll get 7 of them to even out the entire week. I'll get a black one, a blue one, an orange one, a purple one, a green one. I'll get some.
What is it? I can't even tell what it is.
It's John Cena, man.
God.
John Cena. Never give up. You can't see me.
Okay.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. Wrestling, man. Pro wrestling.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm familiar.
I'm not going to get excited about something that everyone's going to give me shit for. What about Insane Clown Posse? Do you like Insane Clown Posse?
Have you seen? If you look at Death by Taco's posts, I throw whoops in almost every post. It's like I'm dog whistling the juggalos to come to the truck, and we have this mannequin that just like has one of our shirts on out front, and we always paint their face as a juggalo. You know, either Shaggy 2 Dope or Violent J.
That's what's up.
We throw
Okay.
whoops.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna get this out of the way now because I'm sick of hearing Doug bitch about it.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, a year ago, you were supposed to send him a Death by Taco shirt, and
He
still
fucking
talking
knows
about it.
It's not been a year.
I'll fucking go back through my posts and my messages, man. I've done it with John.
Look what I have sitting. I just want you to know that I'm a busy person. I have this sitting next to my bed, and in my car I have your shirt and a bottle of hot sauce that so I'm halfway to mailing it. I'm trying really hard.
Wait a minute.
Why
do you keep Everglades seasoning next to your bed?
So I remember to ship it. I'm sending it to him.
Oh, I didn't know if you had some weird kink. I don't know.
It's an old wives' tale. If you get warts on your feet, you put Everglades seasoning at the bottom of your bed, and you sleep with socks over.
Yeah, it goes right away.
It's like an old Polish thing.
What hot sauce? What hot sauce you sending them?
The one I make for the truck. Our house hot sauce.
Nice.
I haven't had your house hot sauce yet.
Oh no, yeah, I make a couple different ones. I'm sending him the. It's like a. It's hotter than like a medium, but it's not our XXX. It's not gonna blow your butthole out.
I tried one in New Orleans where I had to sign a waiver for it.
Yeah.
There's so many million Scoville units. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I have a freezer full of Carolina Reapers and all those things, but I just don't use them.
I tasted it, and it literally had no flavor. It was just hot for the sake of being hot. It doesn't interest me.
I like trying different hot sauces, but I have like a couple. I don't know if you guys are like me, like in that sense. Like I have a couple of core ones that I constantly fuck with, like on a regular. Cholula's
What's
Cholula's green sauce is like that's my go-to for fucking eggs, dude. I put that on everything.
Yeah, I see. One of my go-tos is Cholula, and when I made the hot sauce for the taco truck, that's kind of what I was kind of trying to get a taste of, like Tapatio and Cholula, like that classic Mexican hot sauce. So that's kind of along the lines of but a little bit hotter is the one that I make that I'll be sending you.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
I'll be making in 3 weeks. I'll be making my first chili of the year.
Mark the calendars.
I can get a styrofoam cooler with some ice packs. I'll pay for it. And
It's way too much money to ship, dude. It costs a lot to ship.
What if you just freeze like a quart of it? By the time it gets to Michigan, it'll be fine. It'll be defrosted, ready to eat.
fuck that. Send it to me in December. It'll be fine in the snow and the cold, man. My mom leaves Diet Coke cases of Diet Coke out in the garage or sometimes in the snowbanks. That's how they drink that shit up here.
See, in Florida, when I leave freaking LaCroix and like sparkling waters in my fucking car, they explode. Like if I leave unopened ones in my car, I went out to my car a couple weeks ago and the freaking top was of an unopened can of fucking polar seltzer was just popped right off, and it was so hot in the car that there was no water wet anywhere. It was already dried.
Luckily, my mom did this in February before it got real hot, but she forgot her oxygen tank in my car and left it behind my back seat. It would have blown my whole fucking car, dude.
Yeah.
Like legit blown the entire car up.
I've traveled with a lot of propane and carbon dioxide and
propane
like
accessories.
A lot of propane.
But yeah, I'm bad about that stuff. I'll just throw it in the back of my car seat, not in my trunk. Bottles of CO2.
What are you going to a guar show?
I used to have bottles of CO2, but it was for something totally different than what you're using it for.
Yeah, mine's the carbonate beverages. What do you use yours for?
To get high. That was back in like 99, so the brain cells that all left back then.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that you guys were all just knew that the world was going to end at Y2K, so you were just
we were just
up as you could. Yeah, I've never done any of those drugs. It's not my thing.
If I remember correctly, you and John were at Fridays as servers, right?
Yeah, I was a bartender. He was a server.
That's around the time when I went to work at Hogwise, and I remember the movie Waiting had just come out, and I remember you telling me, like, yeah, it's a lot like that movie, like, it's a lot like that, and I remember getting there the first night, like, not just that, what I said before, but the first night, like, the main chef was telling me, he's like, yeah, you know that movie Waiting? I'm like, yeah, I just had a conversation with my friend about that. He's like, yeah, we do a lot of those games, man. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's the head cook. I remember this shit. And that was Shane. I can't think of his last name, but it was Shane. I went to school with him at Riverdale. He was a karate
Next time I go there, I'll see if Shane's still working in the kitchen for you.
I'm almost guaranteeing he doesn't work there. It's so long ago. But he had his back to me, and he was in the office door, and this dude was telling me, he's like, pull your balls out and just have your balls ready under your shirt. And when he turns around, you lift your shirt up and just have your... And I fucking did it. I had my fucking nuts hanging out. With no shame, waitresses coming back and forth, just sitting there holding my balls, and this dude's got his back to me, and I'm waiting for like 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, at some point, I got to get back to work. I can't just sit here with my balls out all night. And he literally, as I get ready to go and tuck him away, he turns around, and I see that he's been watching me on the security camera, and he has his balls out as he turns around, and he's like, you're new here. He's like, you have no idea how this game's played. I'm like, fuck me, man.
Yeah, I mean that movie was definitely a good representation of restaurants of that time for sure. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I mean, I can still watch it.
Oh, it's still funny.
To be fair, Doug, you used to play that ball game in our house in the garage.
I did it with Skyler's brother, bunch of other people.
Yeah,
we've done that game.
Yeah. I was like, that's not like it wasn't something you just didn't do at the house too. So
no, didn't we do like rock paper scissors shoot, and if you lost, you had to show your balls?
That's how it's no. It started with your brother wanting or talking about who had one ball. Was it B John? I'm not going to say.
Beanard.
I'm not.
Yeah.
We're in a different time, man. Yeah. We're not saying that word anymore.
Right. I told him a couple days ago. I still call him that, and he said it was fine. So I have his blessing.
It started that night with him because your brother wanted to see his one ball, and there was a bunch of girls there. There was a ton of people there. Like, you guys came with a lot of people.
Yeah, I remember you randomly had like a party that night. I remember that night actually very well.
I could tell you exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I could tell you.
And I was in my bedroom the whole time.
I could tell you when it was and exactly what it was. It was my 26th birthday, and I know that because when we played the ball game out in the garage, the deep freeze was out there, and fuck it, we all do stupid shit in life. We can admit it now. I bought myself a birthday cake.
Oh.
I bought myself a gigantic, and I bought it because it was really, the price was ridiculous. It was a Dairy Queen ice cream cake, and I was going to have it for everybody that came that night, and it was a giant fucking sheet cake that they gave me for like $20. And they're like, oh, what do you want? And I'm like, oh, my friend Doug's a big Alkaline Trio fan, and they put that fucking heart and skull in the icing on it. And
I never saw that, I remember.
Yeah. Because I was a fat guy who didn't want to share, and at the end of the night, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to eat that whole cake over the course of a month and a half, and that's exactly what I fucking did.
I'm sorry. You just told that story, so now you have to tell the other cake story.
Which one?
Hey, Bob, on your way home, I'm going to have a cake made. That story.
I'll tell what I remember you telling of that story, because I really genuinely don't remember a lot of it. But yes, I was going to make a cake, and
he called me telling me about the cake. He was super excited. I'm making a fucking cake, Bob.
I got really excited I get home. Because Bob and his ex-girlfriend, when they lived with me, had you'd bought silicone cake pans, I think is what it was. And I thought she made it seem so easy to use them. I'd never made a cake. I'm not a baker. I don't know how to do that shit. I'm just starting to get really good at kind of cooking basic shit for myself. And I figured, how hard can it be to make a fucking cake? We got silicone pans, and I remember she saying, like, it's super easy. You don't have to really futz with anything. It just pops right out. So I bought the mix to make a chocolate cake. I was watching The Outsiders, and was it Ponyboy's brother makes that chocolate, Daryl makes that chocolate cake throughout the whole movie. Everybody's eating hunks of fudge chocolate. And I just got into my head, like, I want to make a chocolate cake. So I went out and bought the fucking mix, the eggs, everything you needed. And I got that fucker whipped up. And I started licking the spatula. And I'm like, God damn, this is really fucking good. And I put it in the fridge for whatever reason. I don't remember why I put it in the fridge. And I let it sit for a little bit. And I came back out and I had a spoonful of it. I'm like, fuck it. This is just easier to eat it like that. I don't need to make it. That's exactly what I said.
When I got home, he'd eaten the whole fucking cake.
Oh, man.
He ate the whole batter.
And he looks at me. He looks at me. He sees the bowl in the sink with just the scrapings. And he looks at me and says, how many raw eggs were in that, you fool? I wasn't even thinking, man. It just...
You know, it's even more surprising. You have a higher chance of getting really sick off of the raw flour than you do the eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad I know that now.
I have this idea. We're all going to get matching tattoos. You just don't know it yet. I've decided it.
Hey, I can get one. I'm ready for another one.
So, and I told John what it was, and he's like, have you lost your fucking mind? I'm like, no, it makes sense. So, do you remember My Name is Earl?
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah. It's a good show.
All right, do you remember the episode where Randy was singing, listening to Time After Time whenever he'd get depressed, and they showed him through all those different stages?
Yeah,
I want us all to get a different Randy, like crying in a different spot, listening, holding the boombox. Because in a way, we're all Randy. We are all Randy.
I forgot that last time you were on the other podcast that we talked about The Office. That's so serendipitous.
He was never on the other podcast, Doug. He was never on the other one.
Oh, that's right.
He was never on there.
That's right. It became the Ronald McDonald's Apocalypse episode. I forgot about that.
No.
I cut all.
What was the last tattoo you got, Doug? You said you hadn't had one in a while. That you're up for one.
Matt Lawrence. It's on my. Oh, I'd have to take my shirt off, but it's a page out of the Max.
Okay, so it's been a while.
I would say probably 10 years, give or take.
My last one. You see that? I had to get the Ramona Flowers sketch. I had to. Kelly did that the same day we knocked out my armpit piece.
I never saw your armpit piece. How bad did that hurt?
It's right there. It's not fun.
Hold on. Okay, I kind of see it.
Here, get in there.
But I was gonna say, I guess I got Kelly. Kelly did my armpit piece too.
How much did you enjoy that?
That's a fucking nightmare. I remember my arm was violently shaking, and he's like, "You have to stop shaking." I was like, "I can't physically stop
I fucking
shaking."
can't.
Yeah, I was like, "I don't know what you want me to do."
Yeah, I think you should get John Cena tattooed on you, Doug.
Oh, I'll absolutely do that. But I already planned on doing that.
The PBR logo, the whole bit.
Oh, I already planned on getting a John Cena tattoo. It's not in my mind. I wanted to get one. I also want to get a.
It'll
Dusty
go with
Rhodes.
It'll match your Blue Lives Matter hat that you like to wear. You know, with the skull on it.
Okay. Well, when your truck gets robbed, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? I also keep forgetting that you guys live where you live. Like, I've learned that not all sheriff's departments are full of douchebags. Like, the one I got up here is actually a pretty good group of guys. I can't complain.
Yeah, there's probably, what, 2 or 3 of them to cover your whole town?
Yeah, right?
I did this the other day to put it into perspective. There's 800,000 people known to be living in Lee County. There's 1,400 people living in Dougstown.
That's fucking crazy.
We had more people at Riverdale High School than are in Doug's fucking town.
More people show up. God damn. Red, White, and Boom this year had like 50,000 people.
Oh, I fucking know because I was driving that night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fucking clusterfuck, man. This is an odd question. When you shower, are you a soap on the hand, soap on the washcloth, soap on a loofah person?
Are you asking us?
Us. I take the bar of Irish Spring and I rub it on my body.
Like a
Doug?
white man, like a white person.
Since I was like 12 years old, Head and Shoulders, Irish Spring. Ain't changing a thing.
I used to be Head and Shoulders, and then I switched it up, and I do something different now. But now I just shave my head, so I don't even know why I said I do something different now. Yeah, I shave my fucking head now.
But as far as like
soap, I use Irish Spring too, but I use the Irish Spring charcoal bar, the gray bar that smells like Calvin Klein Eternity, and I use a washcloth because I'm not an animal.
I was only taught to use a washcloth by my wife. Before that, I would just take it and scrub it on my hand.
The bar and like go up and down my ass crack. There's certain areas. There's certain areas.
So you're swiping it like a credit card.
There's certain areas that I lather the hands and I get in there.
You're trying to fit it in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Once it goes up there, it's hard to get out. But I'll use the bar straight on my arms, my chest, but I'm not like putting a bar like in my crotch or something. But my I'll go in the bathroom right now and show you. I don't think there's a single fucking hair on mine.
Go in there. We need to know now.
Right, I'll go.
This will prove once and for all whether you need to use a washcloth.
Those are gonna be embarrassing.
It's my beard. It's my beard hair. It's my beard hair. It's not my ass. It's my beard hair.
Look.
Turn it around. Get it on the screen.
You need an iPhone 12 Pro Max so we can see the resolution, man.
This is an i12 Pro Max.
Flip it around.
I'm fucking with you. I got one too.
All right. You're clean.
Right.
Jay?
You're clean. But he
That's
could.
good.
He lives with his sister. He could be in her bathroom. So I have a question for you, Skyler, about your truck. Since I have not yet to actually see it, but like, do you park at different locations, or you kind of have like a set thing?
Well, it's both. We have like a so what I'm looking for, like a weekly schedule where we're always at one place, like at least 3 days a week. We have a consistent schedule every like Monday, Thursday, and Friday at Nice Guys, and that's also like our home base. It's like our commissary. It's where we store all of our food. It's where we prep all of our foods, where we like dump our oil and water and refill our water. So we're parked there permanently. Pretty much all the time, open 3 days a week, and then we go to like breweries and stuff like that throughout the week and the month, and do like weddings and.
What I can say without a doubt is, anytime I've gone to your truck or to one of your events, I have not heard one person bitch about pricing. Not one.
Yeah, bitch about the food, not the pricing. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is horrible, but for the price. No, I mean, I feel like my prices are higher than most other food trucks, but. I know what I put into it, so I'm not going to sell myself short. You know, I don't stop at the wholesale. This is no offense to other trucks because everyone sells different food. But if you're a burger truck, you just have to go to the store, get some beef and some buns, and then you make your different toppings. But like that's its own thing. But like if you're making 100 different types of sauces and pickles and braises and all these things, it's a different ballpark. And I'm not going to sell you something for less, so that I'm poorer than I already am. You know what I mean? Like I know what goes into it. I learned very quickly, like I'd rather not sell something than sell something for what it's not worth.
Right.
And if somebody doesn't see the worth in it, then go somewhere else. Don't need it. I just love when people complain. Like no one really complains, but like somebody could, like, they can come to the truck and get a big ass Cuban sandwich, for example, with fries for like $12, and somebody might be like, "Man, $12 for a sandwich and fries," but they'll go to McDonald's and get a number 5 for fucking $10.50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for $1.50 more, you're supporting a local person. Everything on that fucking thing is made from scratch. The bread was made across the street. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the fries are hand cut. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Like, people have their priorities like way off. It's fucking crazy.
The two best Cubans in town are yours and Fernandez, in my opinion. I've heard Mango's is really good, but I haven't been down there.
Where's Fernandez at?
In Naples.
Oh, okay. There's a place on Pineland Road. It's a produce stand on Burnt Store on Pineland Road that does a really good Cuban. That's where I get mine from. I'll go there to buy vegetables and fill up the propane tanks on the food truck, and I'll buy a Cuban while I'm there.
One of the best I ever had was at a place called the Bodega in St. Pete, and one of the worst I ever had.
There. Love it.
The Bodega was fucking amazing.
Yes, and their jicama slaw is fucking top notch.
So good.
And if you get their, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a pressed Cuban sandwich, but it's just roasted pork and onions with potato sticks. Oh man, that place is fucking great. I love that place.
The worst I ever had was also in Tampa, and I ordered a Cuban, and it came with lettuce, tomato, mayo, and salami, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
So in Tampa,
I know, I found that out.
They do, yeah, Tampa style.
I was unaware of Tampa style until I bit into it. I was like, "What is this shit?"
I don't mind a Tampa style, but it's not what I want.
Not if I'm ordering a Cuban.
Well, yeah, like it's a good sandwich with, but it's not a Cuban sandwich.
I've only ever had a Cuban from one place in my life.
You don't like Cubans?
No, I love Cubans, but I've only get them from one place because I fell in love with that place, and it's 7-11. It was wonderful. They actually used to make a really good pulled pork Cuban that was on a Kaiser roll. That was pretty fucking legit, man. When I was driving trucks and that, and I needed something quick, that was fucking good.
I'm not gonna lie, I've probably had at least 30 7-Eleven Cubans in my life.
I've had at least 10. It's been a long time though.
Hold on, I have to go pee.
Oh, I can't.
You can keep that. You can keep that in the edit.
Dude, this is a very common thing that happens in the podcast.
Oh my god, are you for real?
Does he have a ceiling fan in his bathroom?
It looks like it.
That's amazing.
Oh my
god. Why do you only have one light bulb?
Bob's getting vertigo, Skyler. He's throwing up on camera.
Oh man, I want to say something.
You remind me of the guy who played Doc, but when he was in what the fuck is that movie? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Christopher Lloyd's character.
I look like Christopher Lloyd's character in the trench coat and with the fedora.
When you just had your bald head and glasses on. You remind me of the ending scene.
When he's melting.
When I kill your brother, I talk. Yes!
That shit freaked me out when I was little.
It still freaks me out as an adult. I don't give a shit anymore, man. I'll take shit. I'll try and make it funny as much as I can for the podcast, but I'm 41, dude. I am what I am. I like what I like, and I can comfortably admit I like some of Insane Clown Posse. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody has to say.
We listen to them kind of ironically, but we listen to them on the truck pretty often to put us in a good mood.
You absolutely should listen to them ironically.
It puts us in a good mood. We think it's funny. The girl I work with on the truck, she's 24. So she's obviously way younger than me, and she knew who they were, but she never heard them. I'm like,
I thought
all right. I was like, let me play them for you, and she's like, I love this shit. She's like, I'm a juggalette, baby. Like she's like totally embraced it. She loves it. So
I will. I've always maintained this. Like I'm not really big on like the first couple of albums where it was just straight up clowns, wicked clown, like that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care about. But where they got me, where they truly hooked me, where they first started to kind of get me to want to delve in their waters was the Gathering of the Juggalo documentary you and I watched when I lived in Florida. That
very good.
pulled me in a way I've never been able to let go of. I fucking loved it so much, and I followed it since then. And then Workaholics did that entire episode where they played all this music that they did that I'd never heard. Like Juggalo Homies is what I...
Oh, yeah. Homies, that one.
That song is so fucking catchy that I can't get it out of my head. And so we got done with the show, and I messaged this guy, and I'm like, hey, I sent him the official video for Juggalo Homies, and I said, it doesn't have to be your cup of tea. You don't even have to like it. But this is what I was talking about as far as catchy. And I said, what you really should do, what I think would be hilarious, is try and cover this and then send it to Bob. And not even a minute later, this dude had a video sent to my Instagram where he'd already figured out the opening acoustic guitar. Like he started doing like a soft, like, me and my jug. Like it. I was so impressed that he did that quick, and then Bob texted me immediately like, "What the fuck did you just have him send me?" And then I said,
"He's like, how dare you? You're tainting it."
But it's just nice to know I'm not the only one. Like I don't think anybody has to love them, but like I'm at the point now where it's like, look, there's no reason to hate on them, man. Like
I told you on the last podcast, I don't hate on anybody for what they listen to. I let people pick in my car what they want to listen to. As shitty as it may be, in my opinion, I'll play it for them. I don't care. But like I said before, over 10 million people bought Nickelback's album, and no one wants to admit it. You know, somebody bought that shit.
I would,
but saying, like we said, like now, especially now that we're older, I remember having this conversation with like a few days ago with a bunch of younger like staff people, bartenders and stuff. I'm like, the best thing about getting older is not giving a fuck about what people think. Right. And I was like, the term guilty pleasure for music to me, especially, it doesn't exist. I'm like, there's no reason why someone can't tell me that like Stain's first album doesn't fucking floor me every time I listen to it. Agreed. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I can name a million other underground bands, you know, and like even ones that might be cool with the young kids now that I listen to. I can name some obscure, like old country artists where I'm fluent in their entire discography, and I'm before 1929. And I can't believe that you're not. But at the same time, like you can never tell me that I don't like something. It's just fucking mind-blowing to me.
There were I love how you said that. Like, as the older you get, like the less you give a fuck about things, and that is so true. Because like there was one point where Mark Davis and I were working together at Annie Ann's, and I was in the back doing dishes, and he was talking to somebody about a band or a couple bands and the genres of music and that, and genuinely curious because I was still new to like all because there was screamo, emo, hardcore, like all of these different sects of what I thought was the same
hardcore
thing. Yeah, and I thought they were just offshoots of the same exact thing. So I'm listening to them break it down, and I was thinking to myself, like, I was just listening to The Curse, Atreyu's The Curse, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I enjoy this album because I like the melodic parts. I'm not really big on the screaming shit, but I enjoy the melodic stuff. But I wouldn't know what to call it. And I remember feeling confident to listening to these two guys, and I remember perking my head up and like, well, what would you call Atreyu? And without hesitation, Mark Davis turned his head, looked at me dead-eyed, and went, shit. I'd call them shit. And went back to his conversation. And that just like, it was like kicking the wind out of me. I'm like, I'm never going to talk about shit that I might like again, because now I know people, I'm different from most people. But I'm at the point now where, like you said, we're like, I just don't care anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't see, like, there's not a lot of, and this is not, I'm not trying to be like dark or pessimistic, but there's not a lot of things in life that like generally excite me and make me feel good. You know, as you get older, things aren't as new, experiences aren't new. You're kind of more mundane, like, style of life day to day. So like, if I can listen to a song or watch a movie or a TV show like that gives me joy, I don't give a fuck if 99% of the people are going to make fun of me for it. To me, I'm like, how can you make fun of something that I generally enjoy? Like, that doesn't make that. And
it doesn't affect your life in the fucking slightest.
No, I can make fun of bands and I think they're cringe, but sometimes I look at people and I'm like, that person is so passionate about like anime or this one thing that I don't understand, and I'm like, you see how happy it makes them? I'm like, fuck, I want to feel that.
It's one of my favorite things about doing this show with Bob, though. We haven't done it in a few episodes, and I'm sure we'll get back to it, but like, we were wrecked for all of it up until I think 6 or 7 maybe, we were recommending albums to each other that neither of us had listened to, and doing it as a segment where we would talk about it on the episode, and I think it died out because we had guests and stuff. But I love doing that. I love listening to new music that I might never like, because for the most part, like you said, as you get older, like you lose interest. You don't get excited about stuff anymore. Like I can't. I don't give a shit about admitting this because it is the truth, but there's a lot of times where like I get excited when like Disney Plus puts out a new Loki episode. Like that's something I enjoy. I still get fun and excited for. But 90% of the time when I get out of work and I come home, I'm either editing or I'm watching Workaholics, The League, or It's Always Sunny on a loop.
My life consists of I wake up ungodly early after going to sleep ungodly late because I drive people around all night, and I have my circadian rhythm is completely off. I drive all night. I listen to music all night. When I'm home, I listen to music all day. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a podcast to kill an hour or so. But for the most, I mean, there's something blaring in the background right now.
I can hear it.
You know, I can barely hear, but there's always something playing. There's not a time that I'm not blaring music, and I don't know if I told Doug about this, or I think I might have said it in the other podcast with Jay, but you sometimes judge people when you see them what they're gonna like, because you don't know that person. And where I picked this lady up, I happened to be listening to classical at the time. It's not what I chose when I was going to pick them up, but I picked them up at this really bougie place down in Naples that costs more than like my monthly rent to eat dinner. And they get in the car, and the lady's like, "Are you a composer?" I'm like, "No, I'm a Lyft driver." She's like, "You really into this music?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Would you mind if we played some Too Short?" I'm like, "Abso-fucking-lutely not. Let's rock this out." I'm like, "You just made my night, lady." Like, the fact that this older lady... Yeah. I'm like, this older lady wants to hear some... And then she wanted to hear Freaks of the Industry by Digital Underground. For her asking for Too Short and then for Digital Underground's Freaks of the Industry, I'm like, you are
the best.
My favorite customer of the night, hands down.
That's awesome.
And she's like, "Do you always play your music this loud, whether people want it or not?" I'm like, "It's my car. If they ask me to turn it down, I'll consider it." But
do you guys have all those? I don't ever take Ubers. Maybe a couple times a year, but I took an Uber probably a few months ago. And I remember it had been like a year since I had taken an Uber. And I remember when I was getting my ride, they gave me all these options, like music, like volume, like how you like it. Do you want a conversation? Do you not want a conversation? Do you like the AC cold or warm? Yes, all these fucking crazy things that you could pick. Is that something that is normal? Do people really go through that checklist and like...
No. But literally, I was going to print out and laminate on the back of my seats like ride options. Do you want the awkward silent ride? Do you want the talkative ride? Do you want the I'm going to be a random DJ ride? Do you want the request your own music ride? And so one of the albums I told Doug he should listen to was Taylor Swift's Folklore.
Yeah, that's great.
I fucking love that album. I love that fucking album.
And that's, and that's another thing is, having, how old's your daughter now, Bob?
10.
So my daughter's almost 8. So it's like you have, like she influences, honestly, a lot of the music I listen to. Because when we get in the car, I remember being younger and at her age and really starting to get into music and feeling connected with music and finding things on my own accord and like enjoying them. So anytime she wants to take the phone and play her music and play her songs, even if it's something I know I'm not going to like, I'm always like, play it. And I can see her jam into it. She's feeling it. And some of it's like something some of it's stuff I can't stand. But then there's certain things that happen where like Olivia Rodrigo's new album, she's been playing nonstop. It's great. She's introduced me like Billie Eilish, like artists that on my own I would just write off. And maybe not. I also not on my own. I probably won't go back and like listen to that stuff if she's not in the car. But when she's playing it, I can respect it and understand what she sees in it, and I can see she enjoys it. And I'm like, I can't rob her. I can't rob her from that. She's going to remember that feeling forever. Being 8 years old and hearing this song for the first time, because we've all felt that,
Yeah, I can remember one of my a dad moment that I'll never forget. And you all have those moments that you'll never forget. Like, I'd take I had taken Angel to go see the live action Cinderella. And we're in the theater, and it's a fucking packed theater. And have you seen that movie with your kid?
I've walked into her watching it, but I haven't watched it.
She
No.
seems more like a troll doll kid, based on the Halloween costume.
There's a scene where they dance in like a big ballroom, and she just looks at me in the theater, and she's like, "Daddy, I want to dance." And I was like, and I guess at that time she would have been about 4 or 5, and I'm like, okay. So I got up, picked my daughter up, and held her arm out here and danced with her in the middle of the theater, and just dared any motherfucker to say anything.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's that dad. That's like that dad power. Like when you're with, especially I feel like maybe I only have a girl, and so
that's all I have. So
maybe it's what I'm sure everybody feels is about their kids as in general. But like as a dad to a little girl, there's not a thing that could ever happen that's gonna embarrass me to make her happy. Like
nope.
Like you said, I would get up and do the same thing if she asked me, and without a question of a doubt, I wouldn't feel embarrassed.
Nope.
You're gonna be like, if anyone were to even like speak up or judge or like smirk or cringe at what I'm doing, then fuck them. Like, sorry that your parents sucked, and like you can't relate to this. Like,
I would literally, if somebody would have said anything, I'd be like, Angel, honey, here, go over here real quick around this corner and eat your popcorn. Daddy's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, call 911.
Call 911. Daddy's gonna fuck somebody up, and then I'll be right back to dance with you.
Yeah.
You are the only 2 people I know in my life who talk about being a dad. The only time in my existence where like I genuinely kind of get a little envious, just in the way you talk about it. It's you made me cry listening to when you were on the podcast 3 Song Stories, I believe. Was that the one you were on?
Mm-hmm.
And you started talking about, first of all, you mentioned me, which blew my fucking mind. Like, that caught me off guard. But then you started talking about the song Strawberry. I can't think of the artist's name.
Paul Bearu. Or yeah.
And that's, I'm not kidding, dude. Like, that song, literally, as I was listening to that podcast and that song came on, I started weeping.
And to say that you are pretty would be like saying that the ocean is blue, because the ocean is filled with all kinds of colors, and I see all kinds of things when I look at you.
Listening to you talk, say things like, there's nothing I can do that would embarrass me to make her happy. Like, I hear shit like that, it's like there's a part of me, very fucking small part of me, that wants to know what that feels like, you know.
It definitely gives you a lot of power. It definitely gives you, it's like one of the best things about being a parent. It definitely makes you feel like kind of like on top of the world, in the sense that like your goal is to make this kid happy in that given moment, and there's nothing that can or will happen that's going to stop that. And that gives you a big oomph of like fuck you power, which feels really nice. You know, and you also know what you're doing for your kid, and you know, it is nice. It's good.
And as someone who grew up with a shitty father figure, I try to do everything I can not to be like him. And anytime I find myself slipping into some of the things he did, I'm like, you need to check yourself, because you're not that fucking important.
Oh, I've apologized more to my kid in a week than my parents did to me or my entire childhood. Like, I'm always admitting when I overreacted or I was wrong, or
So, dude, so many times she'll be like, I think you're mad at me. I'm like, why do you think that? She's like, because your mad voice and your normal voice are the same. I'm like, I can't change that, but I'm sorry if you thought I was mad at you. I can't. My voice is my voice. I'm like, usually you can tell because I'll say your name louder, or I'll say, Angelique, no middle name, Ripperdan, get over here.
Yeah. When, like, as soon as you're mad enough, you use the middle name. I don't know where the fuck that comes from.
I don't know either, but it happens.
Just
and you can't stop
say it, and they fucking know.
Yeah, when the middle name comes out, they're like, fuck.
Mark David Chapman. John Wayne Gacy.
Ted, I don't remember Ted Bundy's
Jack
little name. I just
the Ripper.
It's fair. You know, I went back and so
Vlad the Impaler. I got a whole bunch
I had some of Justin's coworkers in my car the other night, and I told him the story about what Justin calls me, what his name for me from all the years we lived together. And I'm like, so next time you see him, just tell him Leroy said hello.
Oh, goddamn.
And they're like, dude, call him right now. There was no hard R. And so for the longest time, Justin couldn't find me in his phone because it's not under Bob. It's literally under that name. So when I called him, these people were like, hey, we're with Leroy. And he's like, I know, it just came up on my phone. It's literally DATNIGGA Leroy. That's my name in Justin's phone. He's like, man, you guys seem to be having a blast. I'm like, bro, your people just tipped me more money than I made all night. I'm going home. After they got out, because like one guy handed me $20 to take this girl home, and then she handed me another $20, and they tipped me another $20 on the app.
Were they all like service industry people from his?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and service industry people always tip the best. Like whenever I order food or anything to have something delivered, I tip the most I can, the most I can afford, because I know what it's like.
Always do the same thing.
Skyler, before we leave, plug the taco truck. Give your days, where your location is. Let people know where to come and eat, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, if you happen to be down in Southwest Florida, we're in Cape Coral Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays outside of Nice Guys Pizza. And then we're everywhere and anywhere throughout the month at breweries and events and all kinds of shit like that. Death by Taco 239, not Death by Taco regular because they're in San Francisco and fuck them people. So we're Death by Taco 239.
Right on, man. Skyler, it's been wonderful having you and seeing you again. I hope we can get you back on. Bob, I love you.
Yeah, man.
Believe you have no idea what you fucking did. I'm wearing this. I'm sleeping in this and I'm wearing it to work, man.
All right, man. Just don't jerk off on it.
You kidding me? No, hey.
Don't use it as a cover rag. That's what that's for.
Yeah, never give up, man. What are you talking about?
Sure, man. I don't know what's going on, man. Yeah.
Babe, I'm sorry I'm late. I had my podcast tonight. I was going to have to tell you.
What?